Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with another live, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. We got some things that we currently need to discuss that's going on in the boxing world. But before we get into that, if y'all can hit the like button, that'd be very much appreciated. You feel what I'm saying? We well into the 2,800 mark. About to hit the 2,900 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. You feel what I'm saying? Your boy done ran out of hours for the month for StreamYard. So we on the YouTube live until we re-up on some StreamYard hours. You feel what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody that's in the building. I already see a few comments. Shout out to Marissa in the building with the first few comments of the day. She said, ready to talk about boxing. As you should be, Queen. Shout out to Marissa Alvarez, one of the biggest supporters of the channel. My pop in the building. Lando Rosa, what's going on, Pop? Hope everything is well. You feel what I'm saying? Smoochie, what up, Smoochie? Coffee Plant, Agent 86. Oh, Teacher Selvin is in the building. What's going on, y'all? Okay. I'm surprised the notifications got sent out. That's what's up. Well, we're gonna talk about this Brian Norman situation, man. This shit is a travesty. You feel what I'm saying? This shit is a travesty. Yo, Lorenzo, what up? Baby showing love all the way from Tokyo. And speaking of Tokyo, Lorenzo, you need to go run into Brian Norman. You know what I mean? If they lock that fight in with Jin Sasaki and call him a duck for the nation. You feel what I'm saying? We can't be letting this man out here getting away with that foolery. You feel what I'm saying? Smoochy, what up? Nurgana, what's going on? Nurgana. I'm gonna say that's Nurgana though. I don't know. Maybe I said that wrong. But salute. Uh, Definitely hit the likes, y'all. Come on, we got 11 people in the building. Let's get 11 likes. Smoochie said, I just came back from watching Sinners. I keep hearing about that show. Um, my girl want to go watch it this weekend, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. You feel what I mean? I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. When's the fight? I'll have the wife look into tickets. Let's actually look that up. I mean, there's rumors as of right now. I don't hear anything being finalized, but according to boxing scene, I had seen that they were like serious, like in serious talks to making that fight happen. You feel me? So let me actually get that date for you right now, brother. Let me see. Brian Norman, Jin Sasaki, WBO fight eyed for June 19th in Tokyo. So June 19th, a week after my son's birthday. A week after my son's birthday, exactly 7 months, 7 days away, we're gonna see one of the biggest showcases of ducking of foolery in the sport of boxing. You feel what I'm saying? John McSmith, what up? No, I heard that it's a movie. Yeah, I know that Smoochy. I had heard about it. My girl want to go check it out though because it's getting a lot of attention, and I've been hearing a lot of people saying that it's good. So shit, yeah, I mean, we gonna go check that out for sure. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, June 19th. That's the rumor. We got 23 people in the building. Let's get 23 likes. Let's get the likes on the up before we start cooking up. We're gonna start cooking up around the 5 minute mark. We 3 minutes in. Let's get these likes up, man. We got some things that we need to discuss that's going on in this boxing world. Sometimes we speak on positive things, sometimes we speak on negative things. This is one of the negative things. You feel me, man? This just goes to show um that the Normans, they proving us right in this situation, man. They proving us right, unfortunately. You feel me? He said, "Pops in the building. Pop in here. We gotta watch what we say." No, we could. I mean, he be talking crazy too, so we straight. He be talking crazy too. Yeah, I mean, he ain't one of them parents. They be like, "Oh, you can't be cursing." No, he be on bullshit too. Shout out to the pops in the building. Man, go. No, go. This little. Go to your room. Hey, get your son. Get your son, yo.
What are you doing? How did you get out?
You better go ahead. Before I beat him up. You feel what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody that's in the building. We about to start cooking up, man. Let's get into this conversation, bro. Let's just get this shit out the way because This shit is absolutely ridiculous, bro. Like, I don't even know how you could really justify this, in all honesty, man. So Brian Norman, WBO welterweight champion of the world. You feel what I'm saying? Won the belt after beating Tillen and stuff like that. And, ever since then, he's been in, conversations, not necessarily conversations. Well, no, really conversations and fighting Jaron Ennis for unification over at 147 pounds. You feel what I'm saying? They got history. They done sparred each other on multiple occasions, got a lot of rounds in, so they familiar with each other. And ever since Brian Norman has obtained that world title, Jaron Ennis has been, calling for that fight, or, I guess you could say looking for that fight, because his whole objective is becoming undisputed. You feel what I'm saying? That came to the table before the IBF ordered, the Karen rematch and stuff like that. Boots, Brian Norman, they got in they were negotiating a possible fight, but it was a lot of counter offers being involved and just expecting these crazy amounts of money that they weren't even worth, in all honesty. Complaining about the setting in which the fight would take place. It was a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And they tried their best to make the fight happen, but they were being unrealistic. And one of the most embarrassing things out of all of this was, I'm thinking, man, they must have, they must be getting a good fight coming up next if they turning down 1.7 million. No, not at all. According to Brian Norman Sr., his son getting a $300 minimum for his fights. And I'm assuming he got $300,000 to fight on Michaela Mayer's undercard. You feel what I'm saying? So you went from 1.7 million to 300,000 in the following fight against an absolute nobody in Derek Cuevas. And of course, you dispose of him as you should have, because he didn't belong in there with you in reality. So now, Boots just comes off of this unification fight with Amonte Stanionis. He dominates, destroys him in 6 rounds. And Brian Norman Sr. out here hooting and hollering, just sounding like an absolute duck, and is saying, "Oh, you know, he's not going to be the next fight for us, but we should be the next fight for him." Blah blah blah. We gonna fight in June. We gonna fight in June. You feel what I'm saying? And it seems like the most uh credible opponent at the moment is Jin Sasaki. Now, Jin Sasaki is a Japanese fighter. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like Brian Norman is going over to Tokyo to make this fight happen June 19th. June 19th. Brian Norman and his funky ass father gonna be taking that flight out to Tokyo, Japan to fight Jin Sasaki. Not for a unification bout or anything like that, but to defend the WBO title against an absolute nobody who has done nothing in the sport of boxing, but somehow, some way, he's getting a championship title fight in his hometown against being on the B side, having the champion come to you and defend his title in your hometown. Crazy. So shout out to Jen Sasaki. You know what I mean? This ain't me bashing Jen Sasaki or anything like that. He a contender. He doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? He calling out these champions. And he looking for he looking for all the smoke. You feel what I mean? So I guess he finally was able to get what he'd been looking for. Salute to him. We can't be mad at him for that. All of this energy is going towards the man of the hour, Brian Norman Jr. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't want to hear, oh, well, his managers, he doesn't pick his fights. Top Rank offered him that fight. Oh, maybe he's just listening to his dad, bro. Brian Norman, a grown ass man, cause I knew what the fuck I was doing when I was 24 years old, and a motherfucker couldn't force me to do anything I ain't want to do when I was 24 years old. So I hold Brian Norman to that same standard. And there's no way you could justify fighting Jin Sasaki in Tokyo, Japan, when he's merely a contender. You can't defend that. And then this shit is hilarious to me, bro. Like, how can you defend fighting Jin Sasaki in Tokyo, Japan, but you won't fight Boots in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center for unification? So somehow in y'all head, it makes sense to go to Tokyo, Japan to face Jin Sasaki, where I'm pretty sure you're not making no 1.7 million. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't making no 1.7 million. Top Rank is only obligated to give you $300,000. You might make a little more than that, but you're not making no groundbreaking money to fight Jen Sasaki over there, bro. You feel what I'm saying? You probably gonna make a mil at the most. A mil, 1.7. You tell me which one you rather walk away with when it's all said and done. You feel what I'm saying? Coffee Plant says best bag for weakest opposition. I mean, that's exactly what it is. That's the type of time they on though. So it be confusing me when they be coming out here talking about how they can knock boots out and Brian Norman Jr. talking about I ain't no Rudy Poo ass nigga. You certainly moving like one, sir. You certainly moving like one. You certainly moving like a Rudy Poo ass nigga. You sound like you scary. It sound like you ain't really trying to take no risks right now. It sound like you trying to babysit that belt because you know what I mean? You know that going up against Boost, that shit might get snatched up off you. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it sound like to me. Shit, you correct me if I'm wrong, but how could you justify fighting Jen Sasaki in Tokyo, but you can't justify fighting Jaron Ennis in Philadelphia in your home country at the Wells Fargo for a bigger bag and more on the line? How can you say Boost situation don't make sense, but Jen Sasaki's does? You feel what I'm saying? Coffee Plant said he making 500K. Shit, he might be. He might be. Smoochie said, I hear clucking. He a chicken. Shit, yo, on some real shit. I'm starting to hear it too, man. Lucky I ain't on StreamYard. I'd have brought out the promised land. Shout out to my nigga Rick Ross. You feel what I'm saying? He said, we gotta take you to the promised land, my man. Thousands of chickens. Thousands. Quack, 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 quack. Yup. I hear some quacking on this bitch. This shit crazy. I can't believe Brian Norman and them moving like that. And they really, Brian Norman Sr. be on these lives just trying to convince motherfuckers how bad he ain't scared. But listen, when a motherfucker really gotta like really try to convince you that they ain't scared, it's usually because they are scared. They just don't want you to think that they feel that way. You know what I mean? They don't want to come across as pussy. So he be going on these world tours. Bro, calm mind, that's the joke, bro. I know chickens don't quack. That was the Rick Ross joke. You feel me? I don't know if you ever seen that skit, but it's a joke. We all know. Yeah, that's the point of the meme exactly. You gotta catch up, calm mind. You know what I'm saying? We all know, nigga. We done grew up in kindergarten knowing what noises animals make. You feel me? I don't need to be told what sound a duck make or what a chicken make. Two totally different animals. But anyway, yeah, man. You know what I mean? This shit is crazy. He be going out his way trying to tell people how his son, ain't scared of Jaron Ennis. They'll knock Jaron Ennis out, and Jaron Ennis ain't nothing special. Bro, if that's the case, then y'all should have been jumped on that fight. Like y'all saying all this crazy shit, y'all popping all this gangster shit, but y'all actions ain't matching up with what y'all words are saying. If y'all really felt like y'all had a genuine chance against Jaron Ennis, y'all would have jumped on it. You feel me? Y'all definitely would have took advantage because Boots is arguably, or maybe clearly, the biggest draw at 147 pounds right now. Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, they done moved up. Sean Porter, he retired. Keith Thurman, he had 54. All them dudes done went up. So Boots is now the leader of this division, in my opinion. You feel me? So, um, with him being this guy who could sell a lot of tickets at the Wells Fargo and really run up a bag in comparison to all the other champions that's currently in the division, if you felt like he was easy work, if you truly felt like you could defeat Jaron Ennis, then y'all would have made that fight happen right away when y'all had the opportunity. But guess what? Y'all felt like it was safer for y'all to fight a Derek Cuevas on a female's undercard rather than fighting Jaron Ennis in the main event at the Wells Fargo for $1.7 million. God damn. God damn. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? If that don't tell you a motherfucker scary, I don't know what do. I don't know what would. I don't know what'll tell you that a nigga more scarier than that. You know what I mean? Shout out to the boy Coffee Plant. He said Norman Sr. be on these lives. Really think he's speaking facts. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm be saying. Like he be trying to convince motherfuckers so bad, and if you easily manipulated and shit like that, you may fall for Norman Senior's words and shit like that, because he do be coming across kind of convincing, but I feel like he will only be able to convince a dumb nigga. Like you ain't convincing no motherfucker like me that done been in the sport, all these years, bro. I smell the bullshit from a mile away. I already know what type of time niggas is on just by their word choice. For example, way before people started demanding Shakur to fight Cepeda, they was interviewing, Mill City was interviewing Coach Panda, who's, William Cepeda's coach. At least at that moment he was. Um, they was asking about Shakur, bro. This man had all the praise for Shakur in the world. And when they brought up the possibility of Cepeda fighting Shakur, it was all this like you could just tell, like by his word choice, he wasn't confident. He really didn't like that style. You feel me? And I was like, oh well, if his coach feel like that, the fighter must not feel any more different. You feel what I'm saying? They usually be on the same page. So I was like, damn. Yo, they don't want no smoke with Shakur. You like the top contender at 135. You don't want no smoke with Shakur. Shakur ain't gonna get that fight anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? And what really makes Cepeda sign that dotted line was all the pressure that he was feeling from, Turkey Al Sheik and the boxing fans too. You know what I'm saying? Because boxer fans, and I guess Turkey Al Sheik as well, don't want to see Cepeda at any fights right now in the sport of boxing that don't include Shakur Stevenson. So he pretty much backed up against the wall, and I was like, "Yo, bro, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna fight Shakur or not?" So he was like, "Man, fuck it, man. Let me go ahead and try to prepare the best that I can. Go ahead and fought Tevin Farmer, cockeyed ass a couple times." Then he was like, "Oh man, well, I'm more ready than I could ever be. So let's get it popping." So now they fighting now. After they done tried to do all this ducking, they was backed up against the corner. Now they ain't got no choice but to rumble. You know what I'm saying? Nigga said Norman Senior looked like he used to sell bootlegs from his trunk. He definitely did. He used to have a bootleg porn too. Yeah, I got that booty talk. I got that booty talk. 2 for 5. That Norman had a duffel bag full of Hanes socks, Fruit of the Loom socks and shit. Man, just give me $5. I give you 3 pairs. One of them Johns. Said the whole chat was spamming ducks when Norman Senior be on these lives, bro. It's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, a lot of these boxer fans, they be misinformed. A lot of these boxer fans be ignorant. You know what I mean? They just be running with narratives that they see from other websites and, blogs and shit like that. But sometimes boxer fans be knowing what they be talking about. And they know a duck when they see one for the most part. So they deserve to be getting those duck emojis everywhere they go, because what they did was absolutely ridiculous. And they really want to sit there and tell you that they was justified in walking away from the boost negotiations. But ever since then, you've been getting the shittiest opportunities. You went and fought Derek Cuevas on Michaela Mayer undercard when you are a fucking world champion in your own right. Then before that, you was supposed to fight on Keyshawn undercard. And Keyshawn wasn't even the champion at the time. You was about to be a world champion in a popular division known as welterweight, being on Keyshawn Davis's undercard, and he was merely a contender at the time. Crazy. You ended up getting injured, so they had to push it back. You know what I'm saying? But that's where you was at one point in time. You fought on a female undercard, which is worse to me, in my opinion. And now you about to fight Jin Sasaki in Tokyo. He's not a world champion. You know what I'm saying? He's a B side. You flying over to the B side guy. You know what I'm saying? And you want us to believe that that's more of a opportunity, or it makes more sense to fight Jin Sasaki than it is to fight Jaron Ennis in your home country. Miss me with the bullshit, bro. Miss me with the bullshit. Selling less loose pairs of socks. Yeah. Yep. That boy was stealing from Dollar Tree and then try to flood the streets, with them tube socks. Brian Norman Sr. is a loser, bro. That he be really trying to talk money with niggas. Like, man, shut up. You sold cars, nigga. You fix alarm systems, nigga. Fuck out of here. Do my oil change, big kid. Talking all that big money shit. He said he was going crazy on Greg last week, despite him already beating Greg. Well, him beating Greg don't change the fact that Greg be frying him in debates. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, he fought Greg, he beat him, cool. But that only means that, you a better fighter than him, or you was the better man than him that night. You beating Greg in a fight don't uh deter the fact that you a duck. You know what I mean? You beating Greg in a fight don't mean that when he makes points that he's no longer right. He be frying. Greg be frying them every time they get on the live, bro. It's like two totally different levels of intelligence, bro, and common sense. Brian Norman Senior, the type dude that he try to make his points, and when people counteract them or rebuttal them, you know, and make him look dumb, then he want to start talking about money and how niggas don't know shit and how they ain't no real businessman like Norman Senior. Where the fuck was your money at? I mean, since you this great businessman, show me the money that you made in boxing on your own. Okay then. You wasn't making no money, brother. So let's not even try to shit on motherfuckers like Greg and shit because they got, upside down records and all that. He's still a more knowledgeable dude. He talk boxing better than you. You feel what I'm saying? And people care even though you beat him in a fight, he's still more of a go-to for boxing fans than you. He's more respected in the boxing club. Uh he's more respected in the boxing community than you. Cause you're a fucking clown and everybody knows that you pussy and you hiding your son from top level fights. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So he could beat Greg. He could go fight Greg 8 times and beat him every time. He's still gonna look like a lame. You winning the fight don't out lame you. You feel me? People who bring up money already lost. That's a fact. If we talking about a conversation, if we having a conversation and the conversation revolves around money, then that's different. Even though you still gonna sound corny, talking about how much money you got. If the conversation is about money, cool, whatever. Do what you gotta do. Say what you gotta say. But if we talking about something that has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with money. If we talking about cars, or if we talking about clothes, or we talking about soccer, boxing, whatever, darts, whatever, and you start to get fried in a debate or whatever the case is, and then you go to bring up people's finances or how much money you got, bro, you are the lamest of the lame. Y'all niggas is real life corny as fuck. Lux Boxing Gym, salute. He said I don't think he won that fight. I was there live, bro. When I said that, people was saying that I was being biased. I was watching the fight and I didn't really see Norman do anything. I didn't see him do anything. Like, I even had to talk to one of my homies who was there as well. He was like, I had to score the draw. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. Like, I seen Greg, like, I thought he showcased a better IQ. I thought his body work went unnoticed. I thought he boxed better than Brian Norman Sr. Like Brian Norman, he was bigger. You know what I mean? You could tell he was strong and shit like that. But Greg looked like the more seasoned vet in there. He looked more intelligent. He looked more relaxed. I thought he landed cleaner shots than Norman did. You know what I'm saying? Norman came out with a good jab at first, but he was already looking fatigued. He was trying to load up and bully Greg, and Greg wasn't with all that. So I thought Greg could have probably pulled it off, but I don't know, man. I guess when you got the record that Greg Hackey got, or whatever the case may be, judges are less likely to rule fights in your favor. Telling you. I was watching that. I was like, and then I heard the scorecards. I was like, there's no way, like, there's no way that they could score it that one sided. That shit was crazy to me. Lux Boxing Gym said Greg landed the cleaner, better shots. Norman just pushed him around trying to overpower him, but wasn't laying the clean. Greg was laughing and playing most of the fight. That's what I'm saying. I seen that shit exactly how you saw it, bro. I bought the fight. I watched it on my laptop, bro. And I'm like, yo, Greg kind of like He laying the cleaner shots. Like he looked like he had the cleaner work in there. But like I said, I guess when you got Greg Record, you know, they more prone to the judge is more liable to fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. Why is someone gonna avenge Greg? Man, Norman's a clown, bro. He's a clown, and he can't fight neither. Norman Senior cannot fight. He's fucking garbage. I got somebody for I got somebody that beat the shit out of Norman Senior. He retired too. He was at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? They call him Bigfoot. He been training out of our gym. He in his late 30s. You know what I'm saying? Um, he had a few fights just like Norman. I mean, he had a couple losses just like Norman. If he ever want to get in the ring again and fight somebody, I got somebody by the name of Khalib Whitmore, also known as Bigfoot. I'll train Bigfoot for that fight and stop Norman Sr. Knock him out clean, bully him, beat him up. Norman cannot fight at all. I'm surprised your son could box out the way he boxed because you are shitty. You are trash. They call him Bigfoot. If you was to see him, you would know exactly why they call him Bigfoot. You feel me? If I was to show you Bigfoot, you would know exactly why they call him Bigfoot. But we could get him down and wait. We could make that a cruiserweight fight, just like how you did with Greg. You feel me? Beat the dog shit out you. On some real shit, I'll train Bigfoot for free for that one. I'll train Foot for free for that one. However much money he made, he could keep all of it. I just want to see Norman Sr. get this shit beat out of him. I ain't got nothing online besides like my training videos, bro. So what the fuck you on? Fenton Dro. I'm on the same shit your mother was on when she had you. Weird ass nigga. I'm on that same shit your mother was on when she had you. Nigga named Ian talking crazy. Any nigga named Ian that I know ain't cut like that. You ain't no different. And your mama dyke. Coffee Plant said, yo, I can't wait for you, Bang Ben. Yo, me neither, bro. Actually, I seen the little media workout they was doing, and they both look calm. They look relaxed, which is a good sign, man. That just means that, they dialed in from a mental aspect. You can still see there's some animosity, some tension, and stuff like that. The reality is they don't like each other. You feel what I'm saying? Uh, but Chris Eubank, you could tell he's starting to look a little skinny in the face. That little weight cut definitely creeping up on him. Connor Ben, he don't look drained at all, which makes sense because he's moving up essentially 2 weight classes. Look real calm on the pads. They was just working the basics and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? Explosive right hand Connor Ben was showcasing. So I think Connor Ben is gonna showcase his speed this fight. I think he's gonna really try to with him being the smaller man, I think he's gonna try to put some speed and add some explosiveness in there. He really loading up on that right hand, so maybe because how the way Chris Eubank likes to drop his hands, he gonna be dialed in looking for that two to shoot straight down the pipe. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I'm seeing from the media workouts. He was really uh putting some pop behind that right hand, putting some speed and explosiveness behind it. So um Chris Eubank has to be mindful of that, man. Hopefully he done tighten up this defense a little bit and know what they anticipate. I'm rooting for Eubank, of course. I want to see Eubank come out with the victory against Conor Ben, but that rehydration clause really concerns me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Him competing at 168 and then being brought all the way down to 60, that could have an effect on him, especially being in his mid 50s. Like I say all the time, your weight cut when you're 25 is a lot easier because cutting weight at 25 is a lot easier than when you cutting weight at 35. You know what I'm saying? Um, and he's coming down in weight. He's fought at 160 before, let's not get it wrong, but he competes at 168 primarily at this point in time for what I believe. And him coming down in weight might have that, having to lose an additional 8 pounds, that might hurt him. And then on top of that, I think he can only put on 10 pounds the day of the fight. So, he might have to keep his eating and drinking to a minimum and not replenish how he usually does. And that could take away from his performance as well, especially if he had a bad weight cut. If he can't recover from that bad weight cut in them 24 hours, he might be cooked. He might be cooked. The rehydration getting the Eubank. It might. I hope that shit don't play a part. But this the thing though. Don't nobody really care about it. Kind of Ben beats Eubank or whatever the case is. Ain't nobody gonna give Eubank any excuses. He's already heavily disliked. You feel what I'm saying? He's the bad guy and all that shit. So um I mean they ain't gonna give Eubank no passes. So he really needs to win this fight. Not just from like a rivalry, history standpoint, but he has to win it because, you know, if he loses to Ben, he's gonna be known as that guy who lost to somebody moving up 2 weight classes. I don't think Eubank want to be known for that. It's a lot of pressure on both guys just off of the history alone. Chris Eubank, he wants to maintain that history of the Eubanks coming out on top against the Bens, and Connor Ben don't want to repeat the cycle. He wants to break the cycle. He wants to bring a win home for the Bens when it comes to the Eubanks. So it's pressure on both sides for sure. I think it's a must-win fight for both. Ben might fight emotional too. He might. He just might. You know what I mean? Because you could tell he's an emotional dude, and that it don't really. He got a short fuse. You could tell Connor Ben one of them dudes that got a short fuse. So um, it don't take much to trigger him. So I think he holding in all that anger, um, just to carry it into the ring, and hopefully it doesn't, make him lose sight of his game plan. And maybe that's what Chris Eubank is banking on, because if he feels like, Conor Ben is too emotional and that, he could throw him off from an emotional aspect, he's just gonna play Matador with that boy. That's how I genuinely feel though. I think that's a must win for both of them, if we being honest. Shout out to the 23 people that's in the building, man. Let's get these 23 likes. Let's get these 23 likes, y'all. Let's go. Rooting for you, Bank. If anybody is rooting for Conor Ben, bro, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, y'all entitled to root for who y'all root for, who y'all believe gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your prerogative as boxing fans. You feel me? But it's like, if y'all consider the history, the first time they were supposed to fight, Conor Ben tested positive for PEDs, and it was a strong PED at that that really uh helps you produce high levels of testosterone. You feel me? He didn't like his chances going into the Eubank fight. He didn't believe in himself naturally in that fight with Chris Eubank. So he wanted to either level the playing field or have a crazy advantage against Eubank. So what did he do? He chose to take performance enhancement drugs, and then he blamed it on eggs. You know what I mean? Ralph said, I can't never root for a drug cheat. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro. And it's not like, Conor Ben tested positive 5 years ago against so and so. No, he tested positive against Chris Eubank. If anybody's wondering why that fight didn't happen the first time, it was because of Conor Ben. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally tried to cheat against this man that he's gonna fight Saturday night. So it's like, if you choose to root for him, still taking that into consideration, like, that speaks volumes about you. and where you stand at in the sport of boxing. You feel me? Like that's gonna speak volumes about you as a person. If you seen this man blatantly try to cheat in a contact sport where people lose their lives, uh, where they said on average 13 people die in a boxing ring per year, and that's during like live competition. We're not talking about sparring or anything like that. 13 people would die. 13 boxers a year die from injury sustained in the boxing ring. So if you see somebody taking performance enhancement drugs, that's increasing the likelihood of somebody losing their life in the ring. So if you support a drug cheat, I look at you as somebody who really don't have any type of morals, don't stand on any type of business. You feel me? So I can't get with that at all, bro. Like I can't respect people that root for drug cheats. You know what I mean? Especially in this situation. You feel me? Calm mind said Eubanks nearing the end of his career. I think this is just a big payday for Eubank. I mean, it may possibly be, and I'm not knocking Eubank for that. You know what I mean? If you 35 years old, bro, you want to collect every check you can because that window is slowly but surely closing. So while that shit's in the process of closing, you need to get every bag that you can. You feel what I mean? And I heard that the event completely sold out. So they did a great job with promoting the fight. I had fun, watching the whole, promotion unfold. I like, Chris Eubank keeping it real with Eddie. You can tell Eddie don't really get talked to like that. So, seeing Eddie Hearn getting riled up is always amusing. Chris smacking Conor Ben with the egg. That was hilarious. The back and forths they've been having have been entertaining as well. So they did a hell of a job promoting this fight, man. I wish fights in the US got pushed like that. You know what I'm saying? I wish Booster Stanionis would have got, you know, that same energy in terms of promoting the fight. I wish a lot of these fighters who are, stars got pushed like how the way they pushed this fight. You feel me? Sean Terrence said thoughts on Jamal and Plant card. Um, I can't recite off of the top of my head who's on them cards, but I seen that Caleb Plant's gonna be fighting Resendiz, and I see that Jamal Charlo gonna be facing Thomas Lamana. They both warm up fights for both of them dudes, man. I'm gonna bring Thomas Lamana on the channel one of these days to really speak about his fight with Jamal and shit like that. But Thomas Lamana, he I don't really feel like Jamal should have chosen him for a comeback fight, but it is what it is. Maybe he just trying to shake some rust off like he did with Benavidez. And Caleb Plant fighting Resendiz is kind of disappointing in all honesty because I've always held Caleb Plant to a high standard in terms of facing the best and fighting formidable opponents, but this ain't it. You feel what I'm saying? And Caleb Plant has a history of fighting guys that like nobody ever asked for. You feel what I'm saying? Like fighting Mike Lee and Fagan Boots and all this crazy shit. Now, one of them might have been a mandatory. I'm not sure. I think he fought somebody by the name of Mike Lee and shit like that, who was an undefeated nobody at the time. Um, Coffee Plant talking about you met Cornflake before, bro. Cornflake be coming to my gym, bro. He done been to my gym before. You feel me? Like he done brought people to spar guys out of my gym, and you know, we done been to his events in Atlantic City because Cornflake is also a promoter. And if y'all don't know, Cornflake is Thomas Lamano, who Jamal Charlo will be fighting next. You feel me? Like Cornflake done been around, bro. He be in Philly all the time. He from out Jersey. He from South Jersey, so he be coming down here. You know what I mean, to get work or sparring and all that. Like he be around. Yo, Cornflake is a vet, bro. You know what's crazy? If y'all go check this shit out, bro. I want y'all to do something real quick. I never noticed this, but do y'all remember when Floyd Senior and Floyd Junior was arguing at Mayweather's gym? It started with like Floyd was like, "Oh, Roger ain't the one that trained you. Roger ain't the one that trained you." He was like, "Yeah, Roger made the Mayweather name. That's my trainer. I'm sticking by him." Blah blah blah. And then they start going back and forth. But they acting like they was about to rumble and shit. Look at the background when they first started arguing. Thomas Lamana is sitting on the canvas watching them argue. He's sitting in the ring. He's sitting on the side of the ring watching Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Senior go at it on HBO 24/7. That episode that came out, I don't know how long ago. Thomas Lamana done been around for a hot ass minute, y'all. A hot ass minute. That's how long he done been around. Go ahead, go ahead. Y'all can leave this live. Go watch that argument between Floyd Senior and Junior. And look at who's in the background. It's like a female fighter, and then right next to the female fighter is Thomas Lamana. He was there during that whole altercation, bro. That was back in 2011. Yeah, Cornflake done been around, bro. He a OG. I'm telling you, ain't much that man ain't see. But the problem is, in my opinion, this ain't no disrespect to Thomas Lamont. I respect him a lot because he's one of very few people who attempted, and I appreciate it a lot. He attempted to get me a commentary job for one of these boxing streaming services, and because he did that, I appreciate him because he didn't have to do that. He did that out of his own. He did that off of his own love. You feel what I'm saying? He did that off of like his own will. You feel me? So I appreciate Thomas Lamana, but at the same time, I gotta keep it real for my people that's on here. He's not an A-level fighter in my opinion. I understand Jamal coming off of some mental health, issues and inactivity and stuff like that. But you know, for you to be on the same plant, to be on the same card as Caleb Plant and face Thomas Lamana and having Caleb Plant fighting Resendez, it's like that's a shitty card, bro. Like there's names on there, but it's a shitty card. You feel me? And let's say there's a chance that Jamal comes back into the ring and he not himself, and Thomas Lamana beats Jamal somehow. What was the point of you? Like, why? How are y'all so sure that these guys gonna meet each other at the end of the year? What if Resendez clips Plant? I know I don't think that's likely. I think if anything, Plant is gonna stop Resendez if we being honest. But anything could happen in boxing. That's why I'm not really a fan of tune-ups because tune-ups could really fuck up some big prestigious fights. Jared Hurd thought Julian Williams was gonna be a tune-up fight, and he was getting ready to fight Jamal. I mean Jamel. He was like, "Oh, I fought all southpaws." 'Cause I think he fought southpaws like back to back. He fought like Landy Lara, Austin Trout, and all that. And he was like, "Now," he said, "I want to before I fight Jamel Charlo, I want to fight an orthodox fighter." Why do you need to fight an orthodox fighter, bro? Like how I never I done fought two southpaw. I tell you, two southpaw training camps back to back. I need an orthodox, for this next fight so I could be ready for Jamel. Bro, you spar orthodox guys all the time. This is a right hand dominant world. What the fuck do you need an orthodox tune up for? Wama, for those of y'all don't know who he talking about, he's talking about Juan Manuel Lopez. Wama thought Orlando Salido was going to be easy work on his way to a unification fight versus Gambo. I remember that. Salido fucked all them plans up. Salido done fucked a few plans up, but we keeping it real. He fucked up that plan right there. And then they wanted Lomachenko to win a world title in two fights. And Orlando was like, "Oh no, I got y'all. I got y'all." You know what I mean? Salido done fucked up a few niggas playing. Salido is a fucking dog though, bro. Player almost didn't get past McCumbee. That's what I'm saying. He was getting hurt and rocked, and he was talking about how he wasn't ever hurt. Man, yeah, you could miss me with that bullshit. Terry McCumbee hit you a couple times, and you bent a little bit. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but playing a dog, bro, and he's very intelligent. He can make adjustments. So once he made that adjustment on fighting McCumbee on the inside, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? What else we talking about, y'all? I'm gonna be in and out today, man. Y'all can see it in my eyes. I'm tired. I need to go ahead and get me some vitamin energy at the crib so I could be smart and sharp on these lives, but I ain't been lucky, man. I'm exhausted. I just had all the energy in the world before I went live. It's like every time I go live, I start feeling sleepy. You know what I mean? But shit, to answer that question all the way back, what do I think about the card? It's a terrible card. But if they both come out successful at the end of the year, we'll have a good fight and a good build up between Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant don't hold his tongue. Jamal Charlo be talking back. They don't like each other. They don't both put hands on each other from what I understand. Jamal done tugged at, Caleb Plant beard. Caleb Plant slapped the dog shit out of Jamal. Safe to say they don't like each other, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, that's gonna be a hell of a build up. I'll watch Jamal beat Cornflake, and then I'll watch Caleb Plant fight Resendiz. If it's guaranteed they'll fight each other at the end of the year. Did I see the Crawford interview? Yeah, I did. Shout out to Terrence Crawford. He put out a good interview with Club Shay Shannon Sharp. You know what I mean? He was giving Shannon Sharp some boxing instructions, which I thought was pretty dope. Just to hear hit like a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of his insight on the sport of boxing. And then he answered some good questions. A lot of the questions he asked I already knew because I really keep up with Bud, but still was a dope interview. Bud looked comfortable. He looked like he had a good time, which is dope because historically, Bud has never been like the type of guy who loves to be interviewed. He likes to stay away from the media and shit like that. So it was dope to see that. Shout out to the boy Shannon Sharp too. You know what I mean? I seen Stephen A. Smith coon ass trying to throw Shannon Sharp under the bus. You know what I mean? Not standing behind his guy at all or anything like that. You know what I mean? Shannon Sharp, man. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. He one of them ones, one of the greatest uh, players the NFL done ever seen. And you know what I mean? He started fucking with these young white hoes, and now they trying to get a couple dollars because they see he was about to strike $100 million deal. You know what I mean? So they trying to sue him for 50 million. Man, I'm rocking with my boy Uncle Shay, man. You feel me? Fuck what these hoes be talking about. That should be bullshit when they only be looking for a check. They don't be trying to get that motherfucker in jail at all. They just want to get paid. Should be all the come up for these bitches. That's why you can't trust them. Man, Stephen A. been a coon for years, bro. And you know what's crazy? Skip Bayless had some allegations. A white man who tried to destroy Stephen A. before he left and did his own thing. Um, my fault, my brain fried, bro. Um, Skip Bayless had his accusations, his sexual assault allegations and all that bullshit. And I seen Stephen A. run to that man aid and defend him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really like on a tour defending Skip Bayless and playing it like he was innocent. But when it comes to your co-worker that done helps you keep your show alive on ESPN for a year or so, you gonna throw him under the bus? So you gonna hold up the white man, but you gonna question the black man. This is exactly why the black community don't respect Stephen A, bro. Cause this man is a top tier coon. A top tier coon. And I remember when Terrell Owens uh told Stephen A, man, that's why we feel like Max Kellerman blacker than you. And is Max Kellerman blacker than Stephen A? No, he's not. But I understood exactly what he was saying in terms of like whenever it's time to step up for black people, you always going against them. And then whenever Max Kellerman hears something going on with black people, he be standing up for them. So he's like, damn, bro, like on some real shit, Max blacker than you. And that was one of the realest things Tio'd ever said in his life on the air because that shit starting to age like fine wine, bro. So that's who Stephen A. Smith is. For everybody that's watching, that's how Stephen A. Smith give it up, bro. You know, defense Skip Bayless during his allegations and question Shannon Sharp after his allegations. You feel me? Stephen A. done chose a side, but for some reason, he like to play both sides of the fence. One day he's like this conscious black man, then the next day, he all for white people. Like he's a confusing individual. Yeah, I remember that. Yo, anonymous, that's some real shit. He said when Dana was on video hitting his wife, Stephen A came to his aid to defend him as well. I seen him defend the fuck is the owner of the what's the owner of the Cowboys name? Jerry 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 something. I remember when he was defending him when them racists when those pictures of him with his friends watching like black people going to a public school, you know, we seen all that racist shit going on too. He was defending him, Jerry something. The fuck is his name? The owner of the Cowboys. It ain't Jerry West. I think they called it the Cowboy Stadium like uh Jerry's World or some shit. But anyways, yeah, he be running to all these white people aid, but when it's time to step up for another black man, he will not do it. Um, I remember when damn, what was the other person? Jerry Jones, my fault. Yep, Jerry Jones. He was defending Jerry Jones. He defends Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless tried to destroy Stephen A. Bro, still be on that boy swinging from his sack. You feel me? What was that other example of my brain fried right now? What the fuck was it that Stephen A. ran to his aid? It was another person. Oh yeah, this not him defending anybody, but how about Bill Belichick? Bill Belichick out here fucking with these young Johns. You know, how about that dude from the Raiders? The owner of the Raiders, his name like Mark Davis, I believe, or some shit like that. Could be right, I could be wrong. But he fucking with a young John too, but they want shit on Shannon Sharp for fucking with some 19-year-old. Come on, man. When these old white motherfuckers be fucking these young bitches like Hugh Hefner and all them, it's all good. But when a black man do it, everybody got their eyes on it. Man, y'all need to miss me with that bullshit, bro. Mark just called Ralph anonymous. Did I? Oh shit, Ralph did say that. My fault, bro. I'm fucking cooked, bro. Leonardo DiCaprio, bro. The list goes on and on and on, bro. Stephen A. grade A coon. He won't never stand up for black people. But whenever it's a white man, you already know Stephen A. about to run to that boy aid. Jay Cash said niggas don't know that Stephen A. wants to branch away from sports and eventually get into politics. He gonna coon and bootlick his way to where he needs to go. Facts. He did that. He did that to get at the top of the ESPN chain. You feel me? Sad to see that, bro. Like Shannon Sharp helped you keep your show afloat. You know what I mean? When he left Skip, you know what I'm saying? You done brought him along. And you got your show back. Back up. I think he was always number one, but kept his show relevant and stuff like that. And he going through some shit, and now you want to sit there and act like you don't know what's going on. Shit is disgraceful, bro. Like defending Skip Bayless when he tried to destroy your career and throw shade on you and disrespect you any moment he could. You defend him, but the man Shannon Sharp who helped you keep your show afloat, that's the man you gonna disrespect and question. Fuck Stephen A, bro. That dude's a fucking goofy, bro. You know what I mean? Definitely so to so. He do whatever he can to appease them white people, bro. Skip got a weird obsession with LeBron. That's a fact. It's been like that for well over a decade. But he love him some Tim Tebow. You know what I mean? But back to Stephen A. T.O. said the realest shit in the world when he told Stephen A. to his face that Max Kellerman blacker than him. You know that shit crazy. When you know a motherfucker a coon when it's time to step up for black people and they refuse and the white people standing up for the black people as well. I mean, instead, like what? What? When you see the white man defending the black man and the black man, going against the black man, that's a whole different type of coonery, bro. Shit is crazy. Shout out to Teach. What up, baby? There's some other points I done forgot, but Stephen A, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to you. Goofy ass. Skip has notoriously hated on black athletes his whole career. He done made a career off of hating off black athletes. You feel me? So that's just who he is. He a clown. So what we talking about before we get up out of here? Oh shit, hold on, what's this? Jay Cash, Max Kellerman, a white Jewish dude from New York, used to defend black athletes all the time and don't have no reason to, especially since a black man killed his brother when he was younger. Yeah, and it was a boxer. I remember that. All that shit he done been through, and he's still standing up for black people. But Stephen A. can't find it in his heart to defend his own. Ain't that some shit? Yeah, Jake, man, bro, there's compilation videos on YouTube right now of Max Kellerman frying Stephen A. in debates. And Stephen A. used to get so sick, bro. Like he purposely got Max off of that show. You know what I mean, like he really did not like Max. But like you could see, like, bro, he used to torch him in debates, and he used to get it. He used to throw like little personal shots at him and all. Bella face, that's why he get the big bucks. Yeah, for all that cooning and nut hugging he be doing. Not all money, good money though, man. Their father's rivalry thoughts. What are we talking about, Teach? Talking about Eubank and Ben? What I think about the father's rivalry? Yeah, can't nobody. There's not many people in this world alone that could debate Max on boxing. So I don't even know why the fuck they would even try that. Max Max is very, very intelligent when it comes to the sport of boxing. Not from like a coach's perspective or nothing like that, but his overall knowledge on like the history of boxing and shit and how well he spoke and presented it. There's not many people that's going toe to toe with Max. I ain't gonna lie. If I was to debate Max, I'm gonna make sure I got my motherfucking I'm gonna make sure I'm on point for sure. Max no boxing for sure. Whatever topic we debating, I'm gonna make sure I got clips on top of clips. Fucking with Max, no glaze and shit. He, I gave him his props. There's a lot of motherfuckers out here that don't be knowing what they talking about. Max be sturdy though. He used to cook him in bed. Basketball supposed to be Stephen A's specialty. Shit, crazy. I don't know if Max checked Tio on Undisputed. I don't know. I was trying to bring Max Kellerman on the channel, but he ignored me. He been incognito, you know what I'm saying? I don't even be seeing him on social media or nothing. I don't know what Max be doing. He be in his own little world, probably just chilling with the fam or whatever. But Max should be commentating right now. I don't know why he not commentating. Yeah, Max definitely ain't fucking with nobody though. He probably got sick of that the whole media shit from how the way Stephen A did him. Cause I know for a fact Stephen A got him up off that show. Let me see. What do I think of NUA's lineup? MJ, Nick Ball, Nakatani. I love it. You know what I'm saying? They were people coming out here talking about how, NUA been ducking MJ and all that bullshit. I never believed that, but that's what they want you to believe. The Nick Ball, that's a very interesting fight between NUA and Nick Ball. And then we got Junto Nakatani. Fire. That's the fight I want to see more than anything. I want to see Junto and NUA rumble in Japan. Sell whatever arena they got to sell out and get the cooking. Nick Ball, that's an exciting fight too. I want to see how he deals with Nick Ball's style. That's gonna be interesting. And then MJ, I don't think much of MJ. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't see anything he do that makes NUA fall short. If we being honest, it should be in the Tokyo Dome. That shit gonna sell crazy. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love to the channel, man. If y'all could hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. I dropped a video earlier today just speaking about whether Jaron Ennis should stay at 147 and follow his mandatory with Giasov, or if he should move up to 154 pounds, man. Please go check that video out. Y'all go hit the like on there just like you did on this live. And let's get the video up out of here, man. Let's get the algorithm up on the live and the video. You feel me? Until then, y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.